So the Phoenix Suns are an unmitigated disaster, to say the least. The big three of Booker, Beal, and Durant just simply has not lived up to expectations, and they are just a mess. If you're somebody that looks at basketball from, with a critical eye and have a deep understanding of the game, you would have known from the get-go, from the day this trade happened, that this wasn't going to work, because Beal immediately becomes a redundancy when he lands in Phoenix, because he played shooting guard in Washington primarily, and you go to a team that already has their star shooting guard who primarily plays that position, who's known to not really play the point guard position as well. So it becomes a redundancy, and then now you have three of the same players, essentially, guys who do the same thing, who are not spectacular defenders, and who are all ball dominant, who need the ball in their hands at all times. So on top of Bradley Beal just being a terrible fit for this team, Booker, Beal, and Durant all have the highest payrolls on this team. So the Suns are essentially over the second apron and can't afford to get elite role players or just good role players that will help boost their team significantly. And the worst part of the situation is that you are stuck paying Bradley Beal $50 million a year for the next, 2 to 3 years with that god-awful no-trade clause that for some reason Washington decided to give him. That's a whole nother video in itself. But the point is, you are stuck with him. He controls where he wants to go. He's injury-prone. His value is little to none. It just could not be a worse situation for Phoenix. And this is kind of comparable, as a Lakers fan, to the Russell Westbrook situation, where you really couldn't get off of him because he was just a terrible fit overall. And, he was making an ungodly amount of money, but, at least he didn't have the no-trade clause. And his contract was expiring, to be fair, but it was kind of hard because you had to give up a pick to get off of him, let alone get stuff for him. But, to this day, I thank Danny Ainge for that. Obviously, I don't hate Westbrook, right? He was my second favorite player, back in the day when I was young. I still love Westbrook. So don't try and sit here. I'm not hating on Westbrook. But back to what I was saying. You can't get off of Beal. It's a similar situation. You just can't, because he's making an ungodly amount of money. Nobody wants him. And on top of that, he has a no-trade clause and he's injury-prone. So yeah, you might just have to wait 2 to 3 years to just get off of him. And their draft pick situation is actually insane. They don't have a pick. They have almost no picks until 2030 or 2031. They do have the picks they got from Utah when they traded their most valuable first-round pick that they could trade. But I guess they traded for those picks to get Jimmy Butler, to try and get Jimmy Butler, but that never worked out. And so they ended up having to trade one of those picks to get off of Nurkic, which was a terrible fit too. So yeah, it's a terrible situation all around. And then there's the situation with Kevin Durant where he was shocked and blindsided that the Suns tried to trade him at the deadline, which he knew nothing about. And now he's probably going to get traded this summer. So honestly, only one team has it worse than Phoenix right now, and that's Dallas. Dallas, I already covered it in the last video, but Dallas is in the worst situation you can imagine. So yeah, things are looking really bad in Phoenix right now. We don't even know what's going to happen with Devin Booker, honestly. I know the Suns tried, they went out and said that they're not going to trade him, but Miami went and said that, and then Jimmy ended up asking for a trade. So I really don't buy that. If Booker asks out, and God forbid, because I really don't want that to happen for Phoenix Suns fans. But if he asks out, then it's game over. Because what are you going to do? I mean, you can get picks back and, hopefully start a rebuild, which I guess is a good thing. But, I mean, then you're going to go back to being bad. I don't know. Matt Ishbia just wrecked this team as soon as he got his hands on the Suns. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section if you agree or disagree with me. I mean, I don't know. Whether or not you agree with some of the stuff that I said, you cannot disagree. You can't deny the fact that this is a bad situation for Phoenix. But anyway, that's going to be it for the video. See ya.